Hello, good evening. You're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll be bringing you top stories across Canada today. An American driver is dead after a loose wheel struck their SUV on Queen Elizabeth Way in St. Catharines on Tuesday morning. Online, Ontario Provincial Police OPP said it happened in the Toronto-bound lanes just east of Niagara Street shortly before 12 p.m. The incident resulted in the closure of the highway in both directions all afternoon long. The Fort Erie bound and Toronto bound lanes reopened at 6:15 p.m. and 6:45 p.m. respectively. Speaking to Awaz News, OPP Sergeant Kerry Smith said the front wheel of the pickup truck headed for Niagara Falls detached and crossed into oncoming traffic at that time. The wheel then struck an SUV that was carrying two American citizens, he said. The 53-year-old driver was pronounced dead at the scene. The 52-year-old passenger was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Meanwhile, the driver of the pickup truck, a 33-year-old resident of Niagara Falls, New York, was arrested and charged with detached part and operating an unsafe vehicle. The charges have not been tested in court. Schmidt said the incident is a reminder of the importance of making sure your vehicle's parts are secure after performing any maintenance on it. There's nothing really drivers can do. It just happens so quickly, and you really have no time to react. Seeing something coming at you at twice the speed limit, he said. Police are also asking anyone who witnessed the crash to contact them. Environment Canada meteorologists are tracking a cluster of severe thunderstorms in the Greater Golden Horseshoe region, prompting them to issue warnings for several areas. At 7 p.m., the cluster was located from Hespeler to Norval and was nearly stationary, the National Weather Agency said. As a result, a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for Halton Hills and Milton. Environment Canada says heavy rainfall with local amounts of 50 to 75 millimeters is possible. The areas of Aberfoyle, Morristown, Corwin, Buslinch, Moffat, Haltonville, Camp Belleville, and Hornby are also impacted. Heavy rain may cause flash flooding and significant reductions to visibility. Don't drive through flooded roadways, the National Weather Agency said in its advisory. Earlier, parts of York region were also under a severe thunderstorm warning, but the advisory has since been lifted. There are no weather alerts for Toronto. Police in Durham region have identified a woman who died after being found with injuries at a residence in Clarington, Ontario early this month. Marilyn Stevens, 62, of Newcastle, is Durham region's fifth homicide victim of the year. On September 16, at about 9:10 a.m., Durham Regional Police Service responded to a call for unknown trouble at a home near Farrow Avenue and Highway 2. Their officers found Stevens with the obvious signs of trauma. She was subsequently pronounced deceased. Investigators say they believe this is to be an isolated incident. No suspect information has been released. This investigation is ongoing, and anyone with the further information is asked to contact Deputy Green of the Homicide Unit at 1-888-579-1520 extension 5319 or Crime Stoppers anonymously. A motorcyclist is dead after a collision involving a pickup truck in Markham Tuesday night. York Regional Police say it happened at the intersection of Major Mackenzie Drive and Resor Road. The motorcyclist sustained serious injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene, police say. The cause of the collision is unknown. Police say the major collision has taken over the investigation and are asking any witnesses to contact them at 905-830-0303 extension 7704. One of the three men involved in the deadly daytime shooting that killed an innocent woman outside of a community health center in Toronto's Leslieville neighborhood has pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Ahmed Mustafa Ibrahim, now 22, admitted in court on Monday that by participating in a robbery outside of South Riverdale Community Health Center on July 7, 2023, he created an objectively dangerous situation which posed a risk of bodily harm. In this instance, it led to the death of Carolina Hibner McCurrat, a wife and a mother of two daughters. The facts supporting Ibrahim's plea obtained by Awaz News state he had regularly spent time outside SRCHC and became known as Ben by the center staff. Ibrahim had text conversations with a drug dealer 2 days before the incident, according to the document. Part of the conversation was considered particularly significant as the man in the white t-shirt texted Ibrahim, believing one of his associates robbed him. These texts Hudson allegedly sent, as well as others he texted to SRCHC worker Khalila Muhammad, indicated he would respond with deadly force if he was robbed. Muhammad, who pleaded guilty to being an accessory after the crime of manslaughter last December, shared the text to Ibrahim. Muhammad is facing a conditional sentence of 2 years, less a day, and 100 hours of community service. The facts state Ibrahim was seen on surveillance footage speaking with Hudson at a park bench in the courtyard. At around 12:30 p.m., a man dressed in law got off a TTC bus at Queen Street East and Carlaw Avenue and approached Ibrahim. This suspect was referred to as the man in black for the purposes of Ibrahim's plea. In that footage, the man in all black ran toward the man in the white t-shirt and began attacking him with Ibrahim. Ibrahim and the two suspects struggled over a satchel before he was able to grab onto it and run away, prompting another struggle to ensue. As he fled the scene, a shootout erupted behind him between the two other suspects. Based off the footage, the facts states that it does not appear Ibrahim was armed during the encounter. Hubner McCurad was on her way to meet a friend for lunch and was crossing Queen Street when a stray bullet fired during the shootout struck her right side, going through her kidney, liver, and aorta before killing her. The 44-year-old woman fell to the ground. The fact states that despite best efforts to save her life, Hubner McCurad died. 6 cartridge cases were found in the area, 4 from a .40 caliber handgun and 2 from a .22 caliber handgun, according to the court documents. These documents allege Hudson fired the shot that killed Hubner McCurad. While Ibrahim submitted a guilty plea for his participation in the robbery, he does not acknowledge that the robbery was premeditated. Hudson is due in court next week. A Toronto man who was wanted on a Canada-wide warrant for first-degree murder in connection with the shooting death of a 43-year-old man in the city's East End has been apprehended. On Monday, 34-year-old Milad Tarin turned himself into police. He was subsequently arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Tarin was scheduled to appear in bail court on September 23rd. On September 13, just before midnight, Toronto police were called to the area of Victoria Park and Shepherd Avenue East for reports of someone who had been shot. At the scene, officers located a male victim inside a vehicle suffering from injuries. Life-saving measures were performed, but the victim, later identified by police as 43-year-old Pauline Harusha of Toronto, was pronounced dead at the scene. He's in the city's 31st homicide victim of the year. The suspects, meanwhile, fled the scene in a light-colored SUV prior to police arrival, investigators said. This investigation is ongoing, and anyone with further information is asked to contact Toronto Police at 416-808-7400 or Crime Stoppers anonymously. Canadians who currently have H-1B visas won't be affected by a change in the U.S. program for skilled workers, but new applicants should know the move to raise the fees could face legal challenges, an immigration lawyer says. U.S. President Donald Trump signed a proclamation Friday requiring companies to pay a steeper fee of U.S. $100,000 on H-1B visas for workers with specialized skills. The change took effect Sunday. It's important to note that when President Trump or any president issues executive orders, they are often met with legal challenges, so it's possible that there could be an injunction. Stephen Green, immigration lawyer with Mandelbaum Immigration Lawyers in Toronto, told Awaz News on Tuesday. Some immigrant employees, students, and U.S. companies were confused about the move. In response to concerns, the Trump administration said Saturday that the change only applies to new applicants, note renewals or current visa holders. H-1B employees traveling overseas will still be able to re-enter the United States, it added. However, some employers are advising their H-1B workers not to travel right now until the situation is clearer. Leon Rodriguez, the former director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services in the Obama administration, was quoted as saying in an Associated Press report Monday, the number of new H-1B visas is limited to 65,000 each year, with an extra 20,000 for those with at least a master's degree. Questions remain on whether the new fee will apply to universities, nonprofit research organizations, and other companies exempted from the annual limit, according to the Bo Cooper, partner at the immigration law firm Fragomen, Del Rey, Bernstein, and Lowy, in the same AP article. The H-1B visas are meant to help American companies find workers with specialized technical skills. They aren't for employees who want to stay permanently in the country. The visas are valid for 3 years and can be extended for another 3 years. In Trump's proclamation, he said the move was an important step to curb abuses and protect American workers. Critics say the H-1B visas take jobs away from American workers. Green said he thinks the change may be a negotiation tactic. The H-1B visa is disproportionately used by nationals from India at about 70% and China at about 12%, he added. Meanwhile, about 1% of H-1B visa holders are Canadians. Thank you for watching Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali. See you next time.